The second wave of High Republic books is just over a month away. The Rising Storm, Race to Crashpoint Tower, and Out of the Shadows will pick up where Light of the Jedi, A Test of Courage, Into the Dark, and the two comic series left off starting on June 29th. I was fortunate enough to read all three of them, and today I'm just going to give my impressions on this second set of stories and the era as a whole so far. I won't be revealing any spoilers, so don't worry about that, just general thoughts and feelings. To recap my thoughts on Wave 1, I loved Light of the Jedi. It's still probably one of my favorite Star Wars books. A Test of Courage and Into the Dark were both good, but didn't affect me quite as much as the novel did. Regardless, I just felt excited to have Star Wars publishing feeling like it was allowed to tell big, galaxy-spanning, history-affecting stories again like the Star Wars Legends days. Something I've learned about Star Wars over the past 6 years of doing this channel is that what I might love most about Star Wars is the universe itself. I like most of the stories, most of them are good enough. Not mind-blowing, but enjoyable because I like the Force and the Jedi and the Sith and all the elements that make up a Star Wars story. But occasionally, you'll just hit something that really connects with you. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was a recent one of those for me, Light of the Jedi was another. Now that I've read Wave 2, I think the High Republic is kind of a universe within a universe for me, where I have fully bought into it. Not every High Republic story is going to blow me away, but I love this new perspective on those familiar Star Wars elements. The Force, the Jedi, not the Sith, but evil or the dark side or whatever you want to call it. And I feel that way because I think Wave 2 was even better than Wave 1. Let's start with The Rising Storm by Cavan Scott. Again, the novel is my favorite of the bunch, and it's another favorite Star Wars book for me. I honestly can't decide right now if I like it more than Light of the Jedi. I'm kind of a sucker for introductions, and Light of the Jedi was so effective it might always be my gold standard for this era, but holy cow, The Rising Storm is great. It's got a very fast pace, similar to the previous novel, but the overall structure is a little different. Where Light of the Jedi kicked everything off with this insane action set piece, The Rising Storm starts off by building up the stakes and the tension, introducing new characters and ideas, and then when the poodoo hits the fan, it just does not relent. It is a perfect and worthy sequel to Light of the Jedi. I'm still thinking about it days after finishing it. I think I just sat there in silence for 5 minutes when I first closed the book. And then I picked up Race to Crashpoint Tower by Daniel Jose Older. Usually I read a middle grade book and I'm just like, yeah, that was fine. Cute and fun, but not for me. I tend to have the same reviews for the Star Wars Adventures line of comics. They're not written with me in mind. But Older has been doing a great job with the High Republic adventures, so I should not have been surprised by how much I enjoyed Crashpoint Tower. It follows a new character named Ram Jomaram, a Padawan who I adore, as he meets up with Lula from the aforementioned High Republic Adventures comic. You don't have to have read the comic to get this book at all, but I do think it'll be more meaningful for you if you do. I think where Crashpoint Tower really shines is its connectivity back with The Rising Storm. Both stories take place at the same time and during the same major event. It was a blast revisiting key locations or characters or scenes and seeing them from Ram's perspective. And I truly walked away from this book feeling like I had a very full and more complete view on what happened at the Republic Fair, the central event of Wave 2. Both Storm and Crashpoint Tower come out on June 29th, so I saved Out of the Shadows by Justina Ireland for last, because it comes out on July 22nd. And I'm glad I did, because it does not take place during the Republic Fair, but it deals with the aftermath, the Jedi and Republic response to what happens at the fair. It's definitely the outlier of the group in that regard. It's very different, a lot slower, and a lot more character-driven. Not that that's a bad thing, not every story should be moving at a breakneck speed. I think it's good to take a breath and say, hey, what's happening with the Jedi right now? How are these events affecting them? It's the book I wrote the most notes for because it deals with the heaviest subject matter and asks the biggest questions. I ultimately prefer the way Rising Storm made my heart want to beat out of its chest. Those are the more memorable stories for me, but I think I'm going to wind up talking about Out of the Shadows the most. So while Light of the Jedi might still be my favorite High Republic book, I think Wave 2's set of 3 books is stronger overall. Wave 1 was a fantastic introduction that got my attention, but I think Wave 2 is showing off more of this era's potential. With so many characters already established in the first 3 books, the next 3 can far more easily make connections between all 6 of them and the comics. They're usually very simple connections, but it's still so much fun. Again, they remind me of Legend storytelling, where a huge cast of characters was built up over the years. Every character didn't appear in every book, but many would be mentioned or maybe they'd get cameos. You'd be reading an already fun story and then Kyle Katarn would kick the metaphorical door in and you're like, oh hell yeah, he's in this? I get those exact same feelings reading the High Republic. And we're still in the early days of this era. If this is just the start and this trajectory continues where the storytelling gets stronger and more cohesive with every wave, I can't even imagine what Phase 3 is going to look like. And I'm only talking about a fraction of Wave 2 here. We've still got the main comic series, the Adventures comics, the Edge of Balance manga, the Tempest Runner audio drama, the Monster of Temple Peak graphic novel, and Star Wars Insider short stories on the way. It's a lot, but like I said, I am just fully into this piece of the Star Wars universe. Now before wrapping up, because I know people will ask about reading order, if you want to read all three, I recommend The Rising Storm, then Race to Crashpoint Tower, and then Out of the Shadows. Release order is always a safe bet. Do you have to read all of them? No, of course not. If I could only recommend one, it would be The Rising Storm. It sounds like the novels will paint a pretty clear picture of the era for anyone who chooses to stick with only them. But I have definitely felt rewarded as a completionist. And that's everything I feel like I can say about Wave 2 for now. I don't want to get into spoilers as much as I want to yell about everything in The Rising Storm specifically, so I'll just stop for now. If you want to check these books out for yourself, consider picking one up for free on Audible. Just follow the link in the description or visit www.audibletrial.com/Star Wars Explained. The audiobooks will be out soon, and the production value on all the Star Wars books is very high with sound effects and music. It's like listening to a movie. Signing up for an Audible trial will get you a credit for one free book, and you can use it on any of these books I just talked about, or Light of the Jedi if you want to catch up, or just about any Star Wars book you can think of. Or get any book you want. The point is, you get a free book, and you'll be supporting the channel when you do. But that's it for today. Which book are you most excited to read? Let me know down in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all our High Republic coverage, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.